just doing a quick video about discussing the declining levels of testosterone and sperm count in men. And a lot of people just say, with age comes this decline. However, that doesn't really tell us why, because time itself isn't going to have an effect on your body. It's what happens over that period of time inside your body that actually causes the issue. And that's a systemic way, holistic way to look at it, and it's true. So the top 3 reasons for declining levels of testosterone and sperm count, sperm numbers in men are actually, in my opinion, micronutrient deficiencies, exposure to endocrine disrupting chemicals, and also just declining gut health. The gut microbiome is extremely important. That bacteria really does help regulate the communication with your brain and the HPG axis, which is what ends up being responsible for spermatogenesis and testosterone production. So if your gut health is bad, then if your gut health is bad, it's actually going to have an effect on your reproductive system. So I guess just to elaborate a little bit more on those. So endocrine disrupting chemicals first. There's actually been in the last, definitely in the last 100 years, probably in the last 50 years, a massive rise in the use of plastics and polymers that are actually in kind of almost everything that we're using now. Even our clothes have these things in them, and these chemicals can act as estrogen, phytoestrogens in the body. So the constant exposure to them is actually what starts to amount to kind of a toxic load in the body and in the liver. And when your liver can't process those substances, when it has an overload, it starts to also overproduce a hormone known as SHBG, which is, SHBG is required in the milieu of our hormones, but when you start to overproduce it, it starts to also bind more testosterone in the, or it's a protein that binds testosterone in the bloodstream. So when you have more SHBG being produced, you're going to have less free testosterone, that's less testosterone that can actively be used on a receptor. The micronutrient deficiency thing is extremely common. Statistically, most people are deficient in at least 4 or 5 different vitamins and minerals at any given moment. A lot of people are way more deficient in a lot more of those. Rarely does anyone ever test it, but you can test them, and I recommend it because it'll shed a lot of light on what your current system looks like, because the vitamins and minerals that you consume and that you assimilate are the building blocks for your hormones and your metabolic function. So when you're deficient in them, especially over the course of a long time, it's going to lead to a lot of these issues. And then, like I said, the gut health being the third one. So hopefully this was a helpful video. If you guys want more information, you can also check out Truth Nutra and Anabolic Men, where we also have a couple books. Master Your Tea is a book that's pretty thorough that we wrote on the subject. So hopefully this was helpful,